All Zarsos here. We're just bringing you another guide, weapon guide. This time it'll be on the Volt Lancer. Volt Lancer is not a super technical weapon, so I don't expect this to be quite as long as the demo cannon one. But for a too long didn't watch, you need to aim slightly higher than what you're aiming to hit, because there's quite a bit of bullet drop because of the effective range on this weapon. And just keep in mind that you will knock things back a little bit with your bolts. So when you go to collect them, you want to make sure that they're not falling into something if at all possible, which will be most of what this video is about. For the overview, we'll just go over the stats on here because there's nothing really extra with this one, it's just what we have on the screen already. So it's got an effective range of 50 meters, ammo capacity of 3, assuming it's at least level 2, and a reload time of 1 second, down from 2 seconds on the earlier 2 levels. The damage type is crushing, which means it hits flesh, armor, or traps, so regardless of what you hit, you're going to destroy it, which is very good. It has the effective range of 50 meters, means that it has quite a bit of bullet drop. You can kind of just gauge that relative based off of what the other ones have. So for instance, the plasma bow has a 100-meter effective range, so it has a lot less bullet drop than the Volt Lancer. Okay, so for basics, if you're really close to something, you just shoot it, it blows up, it's relatively straight at this range. This next one down here, this is about the effective range, that's about 50 meters. You gotta aim a little bit up, didn't quite go high enough. Now let's just pick up that again, and I'm just going to show that the effective range isn't the be-all and end-all. If I aim really far up, I can hit things that are significantly out of the effective range, and it will still destroy it if I can hit it. So with all things with the Volt Lancer, the trick to hitting them, regardless of the range, is generally just to aim higher, because you can arc it pretty much across the entire map if you need to. Obviously, some special cases when there's like roofs and stuff that you could accidentally hit instead, and you might need to get a little bit closer in those cases. But that's the basics of the Volt Lancer, really. You just aim a little bit higher than where you're trying to go, and you'll generally hit your target. And if it hits its target, it will destroy it. With the Volt Lancer, one of the main cons of it is that it only has 3 ammo. It's high enough, I feel, but it's also something that you can abuse with someone if you know that they're using a Volt Lancer. Well, you can try to. We're going to go over how to try and avoid that. You can't really do it when it comes to like traps and blocks, because if you just shoot a trap or a block, like these, or like the metal over here, it just stays where you shot. So you can easily keep track of that, it's not bouncing around at all, unlike some other weapons like the Volcanic Plasma Bow and the Demo Cannon. So in this case, you can easily keep track of it. The one case where you can't potentially easily keep track of it would be if there's a guard involved, because it sticks into the guard, and once it's stuck in the guard, it can roll off into the distance. So we've got some guards up here that we're going to use for examples, and just assume that anything that rolls off is gone forever, basically. So if I shoot this guard, we'll note that he doesn't die, he doesn't like crumple down where I hit him. He actually gets pushed further back by the bolt itself and flies down into the pit. So we've also got another one here where it's this one is on a ramp. It goes even further. It's not necessarily the case. If I was to shoot from, say, above them, that one still goes into the pit. But this one here... Oh, right, free ammo. Let me go grab the ammo. Yeah, if I shoot straight down or at an angle such that they're not going off into the distance I don't want them to, just imagine that this is like filled with corrosion cubes. I can actually get them to fall where I want them and actually keep my ammo. So that does mean getting closer to guards in cases where there's ammo traps involved. But it makes the level overall a lot safer if you can get it from the right angle, which the angle will almost always be either straight up so that you're shooting them down into it, or from the side where the corrosion cube would be. Like if you had a guard that was here and shot up like this, they would be pushed backwards and they'd be pushed off of the ramp. Alternatively, you can just get within the pickup range. The moment it hits a target, it will pick up the bolts if you are in pickup range. You can make that pickup range a bit longer using magnetic link from the Ironside suit, and that's especially good when there's armor involved, because it means that you can get all the shots that you need. And between ammo pickup and just picking your angles for the how you take down guards, you pretty much got a good handle on how to use the Volt Lancer. The only thing left would be specifically saving that last bolt and only firing it at things that are close so that you can it basically emulates the use of a melee weapon with the Volt Lancer, which is a good tactic if you're in a situation where you can do it. Okay, so finally we're just going to go over loadouts for the Volt Lancer. So it only has currently combinations suit-wise with the Ironside perks. So that would be... oh, that's not the one I wanted. Magnetic Link, which gives you increased ammo pickup range. That's good for anything that has ammo. It's pretty good with the Volt Lancer. Rapid Fire. Turning the 1 second to 1.8 is a very big deal. It's very fast, and I think it puts it so that hitting armor, the stun is longer than the actual reload delay, which is a very big deal. This is very good on the Volt Lancer. Shot tracker, I don't think is actually all that good because you're typically able to track where your bolts are a lot easier with the Volt Lancer because they don't bounce, and you can do the stuff that we mentioned earlier to try and minimize where, like, how many bolts get lost into corrosion cube ammo trap type things. So I would generally recommend like magnetic link, then rapid fire, then shot tracker if you don't have another perk that you want to grab off somewhere else. As you can see from before, I had the recharge because that's what I was running on my Ironside. As for the actual weapons to combo with it, it's a very self-sufficient weapon. It can handle pretty much any situation, so I think the arc barrier is very good for that because it's just providing defense, which most weapons don't have any access to. And I think that works really well. Fury's Edge, similarly, has a little bit of defense, but allows you to have another offensive profile and allows you to be a little bit more liberal with your bolts. You can fire them all off into the distance and then start just using the Fury's Edge. So that is a good option as well. As mentioned in the demo cannon video, I think the demo cannon does work with the Volt Lancer. It allows you to just focus on the Ironside perks, and the shot tracker, which isn't so good on Volt Lancer, is much better on the demo cannon. And in that case, what you end up having is just you end up having good options for a lot of different things, and just basically doubling your ammo, which is really nice. I also really recommend the Falconic Plasma Bow. It's because the Falconic Plasma Bow can only deal with guards, you're going to use all its shots on the guards, and you're going to focus on traps with your Volt Lancer. And because guards are the main way you trap the Volt Lancer ammo, it like completely invalidates ammo traps. You will be able to clear so many levels and you'll be able to clear so many levels just by clearing out all the guards with the plasma bow and all the traps with the Vault Lancer. They're both in their elements. They're both really good at what they're doing, and you just have to be a little bit careful to avoid things where you need defensive options, like if you actually trigger a bomb trap, particularly with a splitter. So you may notice that I recommended just about everything. The only thing I don't necessarily recommend is the Sledge Blade. I just think the Vault Lancer and the Sledge Blade kind of handle the exact same things and don't have a lot of synergy with one another, unlike the Vault Lancer and the Demo Cannon, where the Demo Cannon does have some edge cases like armored guards where it can only use one shot, whereas the Vault Lancer might take two. Where that shines a little bit more, whereas the Sledge Blade and the Vault Lancer, they're pretty much the exact same cases in almost all cases. It's still a pretty good loadout. I just think pairing it with just about anything else is better. So it's just, yeah, Vault Lancer, super versatile. Pair it with just about anything and you should be fine. But I do recommend it. I would recommend anything except for the Sledge Blade option.